We're back at it again!
Well, yes, we're back at it again.
Welcome to another One Game a Day. And I am your favorite DJ, Joe Delicious, aka Gun, aka Hot Dog. And I have your other favorite DJ, Ray Ray here. Ray Ray, say,
What up?
yes, what up? So, what did you want to ask me, Ray?
Well, you told me to bring a topic, maybe, let's say 20 minutes ago. And so I had to suddenly think of one. And I decided to go with nostalgia, because I'm pretty sure it's a broad enough topic that we can both talk about it in some capacity.
Yes, that's fantastic. So just let people who are listening, I did not know this was coming up, but I thought about Aladdin. I thought about when we were kids, you and I, our mother took us to McDonald's, completed some competition, I think it was some like Monopoly type of draw stuff. And then weeks later, we got a phone call saying she won a Sega Mega Drive. And then we got some games. Do you recall the Sega Mega Drive?
Yes, we got Aladdin, Sonic, and I think there was a third one.
Yeah, we had Mortal Kombat. We had some other...
Oh, yeah, we did have Mortal Kombat.
Yes. But the most memorable game for me... Okay, firstly, for Sonic, I never played the whole thing because I'll get stuck in like the third stage. And there was probably once where I played it I've played it like maybe 100 times, right? And there was once maybe I got to like stage 4, stage 5. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize there's more. And I realized like, to this day, I have no idea what that game is like because there's probably 20 stages. 20 levels. Okay. And I only got myself to like level 3, 4, whatever.
Does it change your perception at all if I told you there were only 5 stages and you were very close to the end?
Oh really? Was that the case?
I don't know, but would that change anything for
you?
you?
That made me feel good that I actually, lived my childhood properly rather than let something go by and never seize the opportunity, right? Never carpe diem that Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, you didn't carpe diem the Sonic game anyways because you never reached the end, right? You said you got that far.
Yeah, but I was pretty close to carpe dieming, right? Like the only reason I carpe diem Aladdin is because this is cheat, right? Like ABBA, right? AABB or ABBA.
I don't know about that.
Right. Because I was like, there was probably some cheat code in Sonic, but I just played it properly. And I really enjoyed Sonic.
Right.
Yeah, my favorite game was Sonic the Hedgehog, because I liked watching the cartoon.
Ah, right.
Yes, I don't know. Did you ever watch the cartoon?
I didn't know that there was a cartoon.
Right. Yeah, you were probably too young of a kid. We probably still have the videotapes, like.
We may have the videotape, but do we have the videotape?
Yeah, like Ma and I went to the videotape shop once in a while, and then we'll go and rent video. Back in the day, right? They was called like Blockbuster videos.
Yes.
And
all closed down now.
Yes, replaced by Netflix. And I I'll always rent the. Okay, there was like 2-3 things I'll rent. There was Land Before Time.
I remember watching that.
Yes, the first one was really, really sad.
Yes, the behind the scenes stories was quite sad as well.
What?
The actual actors for one of the actors for The Land Before Time, she basically died because her father was abusive.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
Was she like the Triceratops? Do you know who she was?
I think she was the little bird.
There were no birds back in those days. You mean like a flying dinosaur, yeah?
A flying dinosaur.
Right,
the small one.
Right.
Who sounded like super, super young.
Right. Man, I really need to go back and see that. Yeah. Just thinking about it brings me like tears. Like there was this moment when the mother died and that little brontosaurus, whatever, was like, in the rain and was crying. Yes. That was super, super sad. And then every fucking cartoon after that was not sad at all. And it just got worse and worse and worse. I grew up and it turned out I didn't, I wasn't a kid anymore. But anyways, the first one was super sad. So that's what I borrowed. Land Before Time. I borrowed a bunch of movies about dinosaurs. So I was very interested as a kid in dinosaurs. I drew dinosaurs and a lot of paleontologist type of stuff. So actually I know quite a bit about dinosaurs. Did you know like a midget Triceratops and a bigger Triceratops and those big Triceratops, they're just one triceratops that's just growing. They're just different age. One's a child, one's like a teenager, one's an adult, one's an old guy. So the old guy, his what is this? His frill, is that what it is?
I would say frill.
His like frill has a hole in the middle. So as they get older, they will have holes in the middle. So people always thought those dinosaurs were different species, but actually they're the same species. They just because think about it. When have you seen a baby dinosaur except in Land Before Time? Right? They're always showcasing large ass dinosaurs.
That's true.
Yeah, but actually, some of the small dinosaurs are just baby dinosaurs, and people just classify them differently. So that's the first thing. I also learned about like I don't know whether people are listening or give a shit about this, but like I think there's an animal called the iguanodon, and turned out it was well, when they first got that discovered the bones for it, they thought it was like a dinosaur that like I think that stood up or whatever, or that sat, or it was either on all fours. I think it was like when they first discovered it was on all fours, but then they realized it actually stands on like 2 legs or some shit like that.
Right.
And I thought that was very, very interesting because it was the first time that I can recall where I realized like experts could get things wrong, and so wrong.
That's fair.
Yes. So anyways, rented those videos and rented Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons. And you know there was Nine Tails, was it Miles? Two Tails, where we the
Tails.
Tails, yeah, I think
just called Tails.
Yeah, and all that sort of stuff. But yes, coming back to the topic, yeah, all that is very, very nostalgic, right? And Aladdin, you know, like that's goes, you know, you couldn't get sick and tired of it because it just, you know.
Well, you still remember it to this day.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there was probably some other games that I played, but from our own home, that Sega Mega Drive and Sonic was probably the most nostalgic. And I look at it, yeah, I think about it occasionally. Yeah, to this day, you know, you'd be in the belt and you'd be running and you'd be trying to get all the coins, you know, and then you have to jump over bombs and all. Yeah, think about it to this very day, yeah. And in fact, I watched the Sonic movie maybe like a month or 2 months ago on Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't think much of it. I mean, it was interesting. It grossed very well. So people
do
obviously
you think it would it's a good introduction to a old franchise as like a reintroduction?
Yeah, I think kids will like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as now that I'm an adult, all this just seems too. It just seems so plastic and artificial. Jim Carrey is the bad guy. The
Robotnik.
Oh yeah. It was great and not so great. Like, I can see why kids would like it, but I just grew tired of him acting that way.
So with franchises like these, who is the intended audience? Is it the kids or is it for the people who have nostalgia for this series?
Well, if you ask
and
me,
can you appeal to both at the same time?
Yeah. So like for you and me, it's like the answer's totally different, right? Because I think about it from economics perspective, and you know, essentially to a guy with a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and I have one hammer, which is like the business hammer. So to me, I think they're just trying to make the most money, because I wouldn't say it was a great film.
Okay.
But the thing is, they grossed like $200 million. And the development budget was probably like 30-40 million, and the marketing was probably like 30-40-50 million. You know, and then they grossed 200 mil, and then they sold it to Amazon Prime for a year.
As in the rights to Sonic? Or?
Yeah.
Or the rights to like distribute.
Just distribute.
Yeah.
That movie. And they probably would have sold it like exclusive distribution, right? So in other words, if you want to watch this movie, you have to subscribe to Amazon Prime. Right? And Amazon would have paid them probably 10 mil, 20 mil just to host that, have that exclusive right for a year. So in the short run, they made cash. Now, all the fans will probably trash it and say, fans being fans, they love to trash it. But they don't understand, which is like, you need to make money to keep a franchise going. This, in my opinion, them making this amount of money from a game is so important for them to keep the legacy going. Because it's done by Sega. I remember watching the film at the very beginning. It was like, Sega, And Sega fucked up, right? Sega doesn't exist anymore. After Sega Mega Drive, they had some other Sega shit, and then they had the Dreamcast, and then fucked up, right? And I actually know a little bit of history about this. The console wars, which was between Sega Mega Drive and PlayStation, and a little bit Nintendo, like 64 and all that sort of shit. And
the console wars are still going on to this day.
Yes, but Sega was a console manufacturer. How did they suddenly die out? It was because, I don't know if it was Dreamcast or the one after, but it was too advanced, but it didn't have enough power, and they made it very difficult for game developers to develop games. I mean, I read this all through like some Bloomberg article maybe like 2 years ago. But Sega was, like the big swing dick of its day, right? Like maybe Nintendo was up there, but Sega was a big deal. They made arcade games, they made normal games, and they had these great franchises like Sonic.
Yep.
Talking about nostalgia, we're in Sydney, and do you remember there used to be Sega World, which is now replaced by
that used to be a thing.
Do you remember going to Sega World?
No, but I have a photo of me like just crying and not looking happy
in Sega World. Huh?
Yeah. I don't remember what happened, but I realized that was there.
Sega World.
I recognized the character on the photo.
Yeah. So I'm actually used to be Sega World. So
fuck.
Yeah. So I remember going in there. I was like maybe like 12 or whatever age I was in. And I had the greatest time. But it didn't last. It didn't have a market. Even IMAX didn't last, as you can see. They knocked it down and built a new IMAX. Like the whole entertainment quarter in Sydney has disappeared. So, that's, you got fans that, fans wouldn't have that. If you were a fan, you would hate anything being destroyed. Memories is so precious to you. You wouldn't want any piece of memory to be destroyed.
To be tarnished.
Yeah. But, a lot of the times in economics, there's a guy called Schumpeter, which is like creative destruction, right? Which is the idea that, was it destructive creation? I forgot what it is. Which is like, in order to grow once in a while, you gotta like knock things down. So, yes, Sega's super nostalgic. I remember like Ma bringing back the first Sonic the Hedgehog video, because she just took it out and she said, I've rented this video for you. I put it in and I laughed immediately. Like as soon as I opened it, I just started smiling and laughing. Even before the actual cartoon started, it was just the intro rolling credits.
And you just saw the word Sega.
Yeah. I just laughed and I had the greatest time. I could see Ma look at me and being very, very happy about it. It was like, yeah, she did the right thing, that sort of stuff. But I remember those moments.
Huh.
Yeah. And I remember, for example, like I didn't know how to save games on the Sega Mega Drive. But I think there was a way. I just didn't know how to do it. So like I would play it and then leave it on. Because I was so scared of turning it off. Because as soon as I turn it off,
you'd have to start from the beginning again.
I have to start from the beginning again. And stuff like that. And then next morning I'll wake up and I'll keep playing and stuff like that. I just played Sonic. I mean, I guess there were other games, but I don't remember them. I remember Mortal Kombat. Maybe there were some other games, but like I didn't enjoy that stuff. I mean, I didn't mind playing at other people's homes. Like if I went to like some other person's home or a friend's home and played, there was a lot of different games that like other people had, like Nintendo and PlayStation, and
I remember we once went to someone else's house and played Super Smash Bros.
Oh, that was a Nintendo 64. That was a Nintendo Cube, I think, at the time.
Oh, that was the GameCube.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. With a little disc, right? Mini.
Possibly.
Yeah. Smash Brothers. So none of these people in our office know that. Yeah, I used to play that shit. Yeah. And that thing was nostalgic, right? Like you zoom out and it would be great. Like you had the greatest time of your life playing those stuff. There was Pikachu as well back then, and Mario, and I look at this that you guys are playing now on the Switch. It just it reminds me of that.
I mean, this is what, the third? Like we played the first game, and this one's what, third or fourth in line?
Super Smash.
So
there's one in the middle.
Yes, which is Melee, which was the most popular.
Is it on the Wii? Is that?
No, that is Brawl.
Right.
I don't know what Melee was on. I think Melee was on. Could be on the Wii actually.
Right,
I remember playing it on the Wii with a few friends. It's on some console.
Right.
And then there's Brawl, and then there's like something else, I think, and then there's the current edition.
Right. But what do you feel is nostalgic?
When I brought the topic because I was thinking about what games have I held on to after all of these years? Like, what games have I not forgotten about?
Yes.
And one of them was a game called Golden Sun.
Oh, I have no idea what that is.
That is fine. It's basically a JRPG, a Japanese role playing game.
Right.
Where you basically get thrust into a world.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you you kind of just have to like save the world in some way.
Right.
And I was really nostalgic of this game for whatever reason. And then I played the sequel. And I remember waiting for so many years, just waiting for like the next iteration because the story did not feel finished.
But what is the story? I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't listening. But what is the story?
I didn't tell the story.
Yes.
The story is basically, how do I phrase this? You wake up, your town is like shaking. There's an avalanche.
Yes.
And then you basically have to like escape from your town.
Yes.
And in the process, your parents die.
Right.
And one of your friends dies.
Right. And all of this happens in like the first 10 minutes of the game.
Basically.
Right.
And then basically 3 years later, you wake up.
Yeah.
And
why 3 years later you wake up? So what happened in between those 3 years?
They were rebuilding the town.
Right.
And basically, like 3 years, a period of time goes past. You wake up, and you and your best friend, with both of you still kind of like kids, so like, oh, let's sneak into this place where we're not allowed to be.
Right.
Which is called the Soul Sanctum. And it's basically like there's the church, and behind the church is like some old ruins, basically.
Right.
And you have to sneak into the sanctum, dodging all the guards, blah blah blah. And basically, in this process, you set off like a chain of events that basically you're being told you basically fucked over the world. The world is gonna end unless you do something about it.
Right.
Like, please go do this.
This sounds exactly like Genshin Impact.
Well, it's a very common premise.
Oh, right. Yeah. You seem to be very attracted to this premise.
Am I?
Yes. With a observation of 2.
Maybe it's because of this one game.
Right.
Because I have another game that's very similar to that as well. That I'm very nostalgic about.
Right. You like to be in a situation where the world's falling apart and you have to go save it.
Well, to that I reply, who doesn't want to be the hero?
I think, everybody. I think maybe that just speaks of your childhood. Have you ever thought of it from that perspective?
No, and I don't know where you're going with this.
I don't know as well. I feel like you're attracted. No, I'm not attracted to this sort of stuff.
No, that's fine.
Like in a game sense, maybe. Like I don't know. Like, am I? No, I don't think so. I've never been in a game where like I've never felt like I was the protagonist. Like even when I'm playing Aladdin, I don't go, "Oh, I'm Aladdin." I just feel like, "Oh, I'm controlling this dude. And I gotta like fight these people and get to the next level." But I never thought I was that person ever. I've never put myself in the position of Sonic, in the position of Aladdin, in the position of anyone. Even when I'm playing like, I don't know, like anything. Like when I was playing Counter-Strike or whatever, I never thought, oh, I'm actually the one killing someone. I just go, oh, this is a game. But you're right. I feel like a lot of people, when they play games, they put themselves in that situation. And that's the appeal of it.
I think the games are designed to put yourself into it. Because you are very commonly, at least from the games I played and I've seen people play, you're placed as a character who like begins from very little and slowly through this journey you gain more and more, and then it's revealed somehow that you own some sort of like super awesome ancestry or some shit, or you have some super power or some crap.
Yeah,
and it's a power trip. I think. Have I ever had a power trip while playing a game?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, have you ever, whilst playing a game, I don't know, yelled at a rival player and go, "You loser, you suck"?
I have actually. Yes.
Yes, then it's a power
I have.
Yeah.
Because I just could not beat this one boss.
Right.
Like, it was, that one was with Pokemon, and I just could not beat this, like, other guy.
Right.
And so I yelled at the game, and they were like, why the fuck am I yelling at a game?
Yeah.
And went back and continued grinding. Grinding. Basically doing a monotonous activity in order to, like, level up or get better at something.
Right. Okay.
So in Pokemon, you grind to gain,
Okay.
Pokemon gain levels, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to use the word grind very carefully.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it here, but everyone who's listening can understand why. Or everyone who's not listening. We have a bunch of non-listeners. Yeah.
Yes, and a common saying is that, like, what are you doing? And you say, oh, like with MMO players,
yes,
they say, oh, I'm grinding life.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, you're one hour away from being.
No, I remember that because
Yes.
I found that, like, I just found that statement hilarious.
Right. Not to all the non-listeners. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just like
With grinding life?
no. Just don't use the word grind from now on.
I'll take note of that.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
To all those non-listeners out there,
Yes.
I'm looking at Joe with a very questionable look right now,
Yes.
and he just keeps laughing.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah. No, it's good to know you don't know what grind means.
You know, like, as soon as this is over, I'm gonna go with my PC and just look up this word.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
All right.
Go to the App Store and look up that word.
App Store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have Right. So this game, JRPG Golden Sun.
Yes. JRPG is the type of game it is.
Yes.
Golden Sun.
And then you go and save the world.
Yeah, you are on a journey to right your wrongs because you fucked up, and you have to, like, own up to it.
Right.
If you don't own, you have the option of not owning up to it. You can say, no, I do not want to go on this journey, because it gets asked the question, and after saying no, I do not multiple times, they go, okay, you don't have to go, and then the credits roll and says, and then the world ended.
Oh right.
Yes, and they go, oh shit, okay, I actually do have to go save the world then.
Right.
Which I thought was, like, a very interesting choice. I'm like, oh, okay, I have to do it. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it puts you in that
Position.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, along the way you meet people.
Yes.
And you make friends. You right wrongs. And then, spoiler alert, it turns out that what you did was the right thing. The world is gonna end. It turns out that the world was gonna end either way, because the way that the world was gonna go, it was slowly getting smaller because, let's just say, nature is being pissy, and, like, it was slowly erosion was happening because the idea is that it's a flat world,
Right.
and so the ends were slowly eroding because nature didn't have enough energy to keep it up.
Yes.
And so by breaking the seal, whatever,
What seal?
in the sanctum, that's how you fucked up. You released some sort of seal.
Wow. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
This is why I cut out a lot of the things from the game.
Right. But you can be specific. I mean, I don't understand, but all the non-listeners out there.
I mean, if they know, if they know,
you'll
the game,
broadcast to someone hopefully one day.
if they know the game, they
Yes.
know the game, and there's no need for me to explain.
Right.
Um,
So that was nostalgic.
It is nostalgic to me because I think it's the first game I really, like, sat down
Yeah.
and, like, played. Rather than, like, try it out and just, like, move on.
Right.
Yes. There was something in there that was just appealing to me, and to this day, I still don't know what. Because I do like that type of game
Yes.
to this day,
Right.
but I've realized that I don't have the time for these games anymore. Which
Right.
makes me kind of sad, but makes me even more nostalgic for those games.
Right. And you don't know what is the appeal. What is the exact appeal of it? Is it because you are the hero? Is it because you're saving the world? Is it because it puts you It could just be like a very magical environment that you get to explore, you know?
Yes, I think it's just the fact that you go on a journey that is so different from your own life.
Right.
Like, you won't find me out there with, like, fucking magic and, like, a sword or some shit.
Right. You can join the military.
I could.
Yes.
Also be tiring as fuck.
Yes. So you want to have that experience without
I mean, isn't that
putting the effort?
Isn't that just a very fundamental concept of escapism?
It's dreaming, yes. So I mean, so no. This is a very good topic.
Okay.
So like we all dream,
Mm-hmm.
and some people want to live their dreams, and there's something in the middle which is called acting. You know, a lot of people act on a play. You know,
Okay.
they can be whomever they want to be on the stage, right?
Okay.
And I wonder if your personality, maybe along with Byron's, is that like I can't imagine you guys being acting or being in a theater play. Will you be in a play?
I would prefer not to. I was as a kid.
Yeah, once you you've been in a play. You were like the fucking Japanese emperor shit.
Yes.
Yes.
And to this day, I think back and realize that I made a fool of myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you were a kid. Everybody's a fool of themselves. What the fuck are you on about?
Yes.
Yes.
I realized that.
Yes.
That doesn't like unsmudge the fact that, wow, thinking back now, I made a fool of myself on
Right.
stage.
Right.
Like, I'll do it again,
Yes.
but like I'd be.
But you didn't enjoy it. Did you enjoy it at the time?
At the time, I enjoyed it
Yes.
because I had a role to play, and I
Yes.
played the role,
Yes.
and that is just like full stop. That I did it,
Yes.
but like looking back at it,
Yes.
the way I like acted, like thinking back, I was like, I could have improved myself, and I could have like done things better, and not like looked like.
But so here's what I want to ask you, which is you
Mhm.
played this game, this Sunshine. What's it called again? Sunrise, Sunshine, Sunfall,
Golden Sun, but don't worry.
Golden Sun. Sorry,
Don't worry about it.
yeah, Golden Sun. And you get to be in that position, and you get to experience these new things in the game, right? All this magical world, and you get all these powers. You can have all these mystical powers if you were to be in a film or in a play or in theater. But have you ever gone to bed and gone, "Ooh, I wouldn't mind being in a play"?
Have I ever gone to bed and thought, ooh, I don't mind being in a play? No, my mind just skips straight to like if I was in that position.
Right.
What would happen? And after thinking it through, I go, no, I would prefer not to be in that situation.
Right. So
Like none of these.
it's like a form of escapism, but it's like
yes, but
without
like,
doing the work. Playing a game.
exactly.
Yes.
But like
Yes.
when I like go to bed and think
Mhm.
about, okay, if I was to be in that world, like
Yes.
would I enjoy it?
Yes.
The answer is always no, because the
Yeah.
world's always fucking ending.
Yes.
And like there's always some shit going on because that's the point of the whole game. It's appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And like you are that person that's meant to save the world.
Yes.
But if I was in that
Yes.
world,
Yes.
I'd be just like some random off the street. I'd be NPC 2.
Right.
And then going, oh shit, the world's ending. Ah, fuck. Alright, I gotta go on with my life. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right. I mean, you don't have to be NPC too. You can,
I could be the main character.
Yeah.
And I would die. Like, the amount of deaths I
Yeah.
have accumulated across all of these games
Yes.
tells me that you're not a hero.
Yeah. With great. It's true. Sometimes responsibility is heavy. In life. Yeah. So okay. So it's a form of escapism, but yes, there's many forms. One is. Okay. Let me ask you this: have you ever thought or imagined you might be like a performer of some kind in real life? Like, have you ever dreamt of being a musician or a singer or a dancer or all that sort of shit, an actor?
I have thought about being a singer, and then I
Right.
realized the shit that I would have to go through. And the
What
fact that
shit?
training. Like I've actually, if I was to sing, I would have to like not sound like crap, and I would have to like train for all that,
Yes.
and then I would have like, I keep hearing about, not sinuses, some sort of like throat infection
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that a lot of singers just commonly get,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
like rest for a period. And it
Apparently, it's like a very sensitive instrument. This vocal cord.
yeah.
Yeah.
I realized that would like most likely happen. Like as soon as you
But let me ask you this: why did you dream of being a singer? What was the appeal? What were you singing?
I wasn't singing anything.
All
I
right.
was just listening to music. I'm like, wow, this music is quite nice. What if one day I could sing like this?
Right.
Yes.
And when you said I could sing like this, was it to sing for an audience or to sing for yourself?
I don't think I considered it that far. I'm
Right.
like, wow, it would be really nice if I had this person's ability.
Right.
And then I thought about what would I need to do to get this person's ability, and realized that no, I would not want to go on that journey to get this person's ability.
Right. Do you think the type of games a person likes speaks about their personality?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I think maybe deep down there is a like maybe weak correlation, but you can get all sorts of people playing all sorts of games. I think the data on that is too scattered to make any like strong conclusions.
But you definitely say there's a gender thing, which is girls like certain games and guys like other games, and it's more likely some games are just targeted.
Throw back maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, I'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But nowadays, these days, gender and whatever is getting more and more like fluid.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more, I don't say confusing, but it's more and more in the gray area.
Yeah, everyone's a lady boy these days.
And everyone's, what's the opposite of a lady boy?
Lady boy.
Man woman.
Androgynous woman.
But androgynous, the term androgynous,
Yeah.
even though, okay, my Latin's coming in. And you know, androgynous generally means
Yes.
male,
Yeah.
as an andro, as in
Yeah.
an android.
Yeah.
The term is now referred to as just like neither male nor female.
Right.
So someone who is androgynous,
Yes.
we for some reason we have correlated the term androgynous to pretty, to being good looking. I'm not gonna say pretty.
Really?
Yes, this person has a very androgynous face. There's an undertone to going like, this person does not look bad. This person is good looking.
I think it means if a guy has an androgynous face, then he can be quite youthful and attractive. But if a woman is androgynous, that's a bit fucked up, no?
I used to thought the same thing.
Yes.
But then look at like the more popular Chinese fucking singers. Fucking
Alright, if this is like a Chinese thing, yeah, maybe. Yes, I would agree with you. The
okay,
Chinese
why?
culture.
Okay,
But in the West, I don't think so.
as soon as I bring the Chinese thing, why did you suddenly agree with me?
Because that's the truth. Like all the women, you know, okay. Because you can have a handsome woman, and she's still beautiful, and you can have a very beautiful man, and he is still handsome.
But these
China.
beauty standards do not exist in the West. I would say otherwise, that they do exist in the West. Even more so right now than
I think
before.
I don't know. You can have a very, a very, very tough and an athletic woman, or a very, very strong woman, but I think she still needs to look like a woman.
Like, is there appeal in
Yeah.
a woman?
All right, that's sort of not true. Yes, you can have these androgynous-looking men and women, and they're considered. I mean, yes, attractiveness and non-attractiveness is probably less to do with whether you look androgynous or not. It's just,
But we seem
50%
to be-
style and 50%.
But we
Look.
seem to be, I don't say putting on a pedestal. We seem
Mm.
to be raising these people who are in the middle between the two
Mm-hmm.
up more than we're putting like the people on either side.
No,
No,
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're not in the same world that I'm in.
Probably.
Yeah. There's probably places like that, in the world. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, there's there's some famous androgynous men that essentially,
I mean, it's an issue in China now with these androgynous people.
yeah,
Specifically, it's with the men. It's the entertainment law in China now.
yeah, they're getting banned. Yeah,
Yeah.
the ladyboys. Yeah. In my opinion, it's probably not a bad thing. Yeah. To all those non-listeners out there, I feel like men should be men and women should be women. Maybe I'm being traditionalist, but hey, go fuck yourself. You know? No, I'm not, and I'm not saying there's. Anyway, it's probably going to be misconstrued in many different ways, but
To all those non-listeners out there.
Yeah, to all those non-listeners out there, yeah. If you know me, I'm hopefully think I'm a respectful person. But anyways, that's my opinion.
I mean, look at the bloody photo that you took yesterday.
Yeah. See, I was trying to look more soft and feminine if I could. Yeah. Because I thought it was less aggressive and would make people feel more comfortable around me. So it's true. Like even I'm swinging that way. Not swing that way. I just realized, holy shit, yeah. I'm still batting for the right team, but no, but it's true. I just thought, okay, well, I need to look a certain way if I have to put myself on photo. Like the last thing I want is people to think I'm who is aggressive and tough and arrogant and egotistical and all that.
None of which that you are.
Oh, I mean, I'm all that, but you just don't want to show that in a photo these days. Anyways, nostalgia. Any other games other than? What was the game? Golden Sun.
Golden Sun.
Yes.
Well, I brought up Golden Sun because I think that's literally what formed my opinion on it. That and another game named Tales of Fantasia, which Byron's gonna
talk about tomorrow.
No, Byron has an opinion on the Tales series. But the Tales series, which is a series of games which all begin with Tales of whatever.
Right.
It's ongoing to this day. The latest one, Tales of Rise, seems to be getting very popular online, but I know nothing about it. I haven't played the very first one, which was Tales of Fantasia.
Right.
And as you can hear, it's like very fantasy focused.
Right.
And a common trope in those video games was that you go out to try and save the world, but it turns out the ultimate villain was just trying to save their own world.
Right.
Yes. And so in the end, it was...
So it's rather conflicting that you were trying to kill him because he was just doing what you were doing.
Yes.
You are just like him and he was just like you, and yet you guys hate each other. Well, like it's just a world of conflicts, but it doesn't have to be. It's just that, situation has made it such.
Yes, it is the situation where if I don't do something, you'll do something, and like, I'm going to be gone. Like, where my world's going to be gone.
Yes.
And I think as a child, that was an amazing concept to me. That the person that I'm, like, at the end of the day, going up against...
Yeah, they're just like you.
They're just like me.
Yeah, they're in your boat.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world. Yeah, once in a while you want to shake hands. Once in a while you want to give them a hug.
You want to.
And once in a while you plunge a knife down the fucking throat. It's just welcome to the real world. It is a bit like that.
It's saddening, but it's also like just as you said. It's just more. And so I think because of that fact, I have generated a stronger feeling towards them, and that's why I'm particularly nostalgic about them.
Right. Because you learned stuff about them, or it opened your eyes.
It opened my eyes to the fact that I will not always be in the right.
Yeah.
That I could be doing things with the best intentions.
Yes.
And I could be doing all the right things.
Yes.
But to you, I could be your greatest enemy.
Yes.
And I'm fucking everything up for you.
Yeah. It's like with every action, there's a reaction, or with every action, there's a consequence. Like the idea that it's the
idea that when I first started playing games, it's kind of going like, I'm the main character. Whatever I do, I am in the right. I'm doing this for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But after playing these games, it's more like I'm the main character. I'm doing these for the right reasons for me. But for you, it could be disastrous.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot what is the other guy? Is it Hume or there's Bentham, and then there's what? Bentham's utilitarian. Anyways, in the basic philosophy, there's this idea that one should be able to do whatever. Oh, John Stuart Mill, I think it is. And he will say, a man ought to be able to do whatever he wants, so long he doesn't harm anyone else. He should be able to even harm himself. And that is a pretty interesting premise, and it's pretty much what I think the West is built upon. But in real life, increasingly, it's just a falsehood. It's a falsehood. It's an illusion. Almost everything we do impacts on someone else.
In some way,
right?
yes.
It's like the idea that every right of one person is the responsibility or duty of another, right?
The right of one person is the responsibility of another.
Like, if you have a right, if someone has a right, another basically has a duty to respect that right. And it's a bit of a problem where the fine line lies, you understand? Like, it's my right to park in this car space. Because then you can't park it there. And if you park, then you have to respect that right. It's a duty to.
And societies are built upon this fact.
Yeah, basically. So when you say, oh, you finally recognize that, and it's like, you open your eyes like a revelation. It's interesting, but that revelation also is like, it's everywhere. It is what it is. Right? Every action you have is going to impact on someone else. So it's not a revelation in the sense that you should feel sad about it. It's like, it's a revelation that once you realize it, you should realize this is the real world. I don't know whether you should feel sad about it, because you'll be sad about everything that you do.
That is true.
Yeah. So it's probably not the right approach. It's like, remember the other side also has to figure this out as well. My question to you is, you feel sad about it. Do you think the other side feels sad about it if they were to realize? Like the monster or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right? You realize, oh my god, your action is going to hurt him or hurt that someone else. Do you think that someone else is going to feel the same way? Because if he doesn't, then why do you feel bad about it? You know what I'm saying?
It's less that. It's, let me think. It was the fact that, yes, that my actions could affect another, no. It was that fact that I am not always in the right.
Yeah, in this game, right? The Tales.
It's just called Tales.
Yeah, in Tales, You were a protagonist. You were trying to save the world, and you were destroying things, killing things. You were destroying evil, right?
Yes. Because
you thought that was good.
Because I am inherently righteous.
Yeah, because you're inherently righteous and good. That's what you thought. And then at the end of the game, you realize, oh my god, my enemies thinks exactly the same way as me.
I mean,
right?
Yes, well, it sort of builds up, because all throughout the game, you see this man burning villages, killing people, like corrupting your world and causing it, like sapping its energy, quote unquote, or whatever. Yeah. So you go, okay, this person's inherently bad. I need to do something about it. Yes. Then you get to the end and you talk to the guy.
Yeah, so you definitely think he's bad. You definitely don't think he's good.
We've seen
because he's raping and pillaging.
Yes.
Yes. So he's definitely bad.
Yes.
Right. So at the end, you realize you're doing the same thing. So it can only mean two things. Either both of you are bad.
It's not that I'm doing the same thing.
Right.
It's the fact that I found out the reason why he's doing what he does.
Right.
And I realized that he's doing it for the exact same reason. We've just taken very different approaches.
Right.
You would say that he took a much more extreme approach, but at the end of the day, his reasoning is as valid as my own.
Right.
Yeah.
But you had a conflict with him.
I have a conflict with him.
Right.
You've caused all of this harm onto my world. I have to do something about it.
Yes. So,
like, even if I am conflicted about it, I have seen what you've done.
Yes. So his actions his actions paint him as evil.
Yes.
But yet his intentions is common to yours.
Yes. So to put it in a very, very bad example, it's like me going out and like getting something to eat versus a beggar on the street stabbing a man to like steal his food. Right. We both wanted to get something to eat.
Yes.
His was just much more extreme than mine.
Right. So let me ask you this: if you were in his situation, whether it be the beggar or the the
Would I do the same thing?
yeah. Would
I'm unsure because the game paints it
you,
in such a way that if you were in his situation, you would do the same thing
right.
in order to
Well, yeah.
create these feelings.
Right. Right.
If I had the power to do so, yeah, I would probably do the same thing.
Right. So
I mean, okay,
does that mean that you
under a scenario?
so the only difference between you and him is therefore his situation, rather than his cultivation.
His world is gone, and he wants to save his own world. He wants to revive his own world.
Yes.
But in order to do that, he must destroy my world.
Yes.
And I just want to defend my own.
Yes. But if you were in his position, you could understand.
Yes.
Yes.
So the game paints it so.
Right. So you would you agree with me that you two are fundamentally of the same character or of the same how do I put it? You share the same values. You're fundamentally the same people in two different bodies.
Sure.
Right. And is that why you're conflicted? Because you realize you could be him if your situation was different.
Yes.
And you didn't like the consequences that he produced.
And I have a feeling,
right?
Like and maybe I've watched someone play or I played it myself, but in another game I have beat him.
Right.
And it wasn't revealed until like the very end that I was the villain all along.
Right. So it means, and it makes you sad because it means you realize you have the capability to do that. You have the capability to harm, to create those destruction. Is it, or is it because you realize, like, is it because I want to know why you're sad about it? Because
it's not that I'm sad about it. It's the fact that it's eye-opening that I'm not always right.
Right.
That I can do wrong and still justify it.
Yes.
And from your perspective, it's that I could be doing something evil.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that good and evil is very, very subjective.
But is it today still a big revelation to you today?
No, it was a revelation to me when I was a kid.
Right.
And as I've gotten older, I realized no, this is just how it is.
Yeah, the world's fucked up.
Yes,
it's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah, and no, most recently, I've come to realize that the world is not like built upon steady foundations. Like the world is like you make a mistake, you patch it up, and you build on top of that.
Yes.
And that's just happening in a very, very vicious cycle. And to me, that just sounds very, very scary.
But that's just life.
That is life.
Yeah,
You just have to live with it. And the fact that there is no one right answer. Your system works for you. My system works for me. Like we will have our conflict, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's just like the Americans pulling out of Afghanistan after 20 years, and they declared like mission accomplished. It's like I feel like the terrorists won. You know, like the Americans did more harm to themselves than blowing up 2 buildings would. So, but that's going off the topic a little.
Is the fact that you are nostalgic of your games purely because you played them as a kid, or is there more to it?
I wouldn't say they shaped my personality whatsoever. I think the only games taught me off the top of my mind is to share.
Okay.
Yeah, because I realized it was more fun to play together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you...
Because we had 2 controllers.
Is there anything else that you felt nostalgic over? Doesn't have to be games.
Oh yeah, I mean, so much. I mean...
But those things have
just Aladdin fucking cartoon, right? I watched the cartoon first, then I played Aladdin.
Okay.
Right? And although I never thought I was the Aladdin in the game, I've dreamt many times of having a Jasmine from the cartoon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe up until I was like 10 or 12. Because, you see, Ray, the first ever musical that I watched was an Aladdin musical. I must have been very, very young. I watched a live performance of it. Yeah. So, and I think I watched that, then I watched the cartoon. Or maybe I forgot which one. So Aladdin, So Aladdin, touches me in a very
sensitive.
Just in many nostalgic ways.
Mm.
Yeah. And when I'm on a plane, I'm always and I'll tell you what, it's not just Aladdin. The whole fucking Disney franchise. Like whenever I'm flying anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
if I have time on an airplane,
Mm-hmm.
I watch Disney cartoons, and it makes me happy. It makes me so happy. Yeah, we're not talking about games anymore, but because Byron is here. Yeah, I watched. I was talking to Ava about it. Like, I watched Bambi. I was so fucking sad.
I still yet to watch Bambi too.
Yeah, Bambi lost his mom, and then.
Okay, something interesting is that you can still watch Disney cartoons, right?
Yes.
But remember when we were both back in Perth and watching those old Hong Kong flicks?
What Hong Kong flicks?
The like gangster.
Oh right.
And we were like,
it wasn't any good anymore. Yeah.
You remember them so well. We're like, oh, it was so good back in the day.
Yeah.
And
now
watching
it.
them,
I was like, oh fuck, it's shit. Yeah.
So can you identify what in Disney makes it
universal, right? Yeah, it's like whether doesn't matter what age you are, it still makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very, very good. That's why I keep saying, which is like they make it for kids, but the fucking adults will watch it, and the adults will love it as well. Because I think you might have to, in order for these cartoons to work, I think firstly it has to be stories are universal, but second of all is, who accompanies kids? Adults. So if you have a movie that's appealing to kids but not appealing to adults, the adults will go to the kid and go, hey man, I need to get the fuck out. But if it's appealing to the adult as well, then it's very, very easy for mom and dad and baby to sit down and watch things together.
It doesn't need to be appealing to adults. I offer the topic of Peppa Pig, which is one of the highest grossing franchises.
Yeah. I guess the kids would just absolutely, they just love that shit, like the very young 3-4-year-olds. But yeah,
the parents.
I mean, I've never watched it, so I don't know.
I've watched an episode or two. I can tell you it is
terrible.
No.
I watched Sesame Street. I don't know. I still watch it. I go, oh, that's. I mean, I don't think I can run it for an hour, but for a couple of minutes, it is quite entertaining.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Sesame Street in such a long time.
Yeah, but you can just see the amount of.
But where is the Disney magic that makes it so watchable to all age ranges?
I don't know. I mean, the Disney is magical. I would give you that. It's like, I don't know. It's like the protagonists, all the characters, they're young and they're free and they're not ugly. They're good looking.
Sure.
And they, the Bambi it's fucking deer, but you can relate to it as if it's a fucking person. It's just like Land Before Time, that type of stuff. And they accompany it with the right music, the right scores. They combine it in such a way that it's just moving from the first scene onwards. They sing the right tunes, And the tunes have meanings to them, I Want to Be King, all that sort of shit in Lion King. Like the newer ones, but the cartoons, they really do. And they're just so short as well, It's only an hour long, a lot of these cartoons, 1.5 hours long. So it's very, very easy to digest. It's not like I would say if I don't have anything to do, I'll pick a cartoon. Often, I will fall asleep maybe halfway into it.
Right.
Because on a plane, I'm often tired, and it's generally I prefer to rest.
Right.
And it does help me sleep as well. But if it's something that's exciting, sometimes
it helps you sleep. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. On a plane, it helps. On a plane, I try to fall asleep.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Business class is very, very easy, but if I'm flying economy, it's fuck that. It's very difficult to sleep.
But then the purpose of you watching is no longer for the entertainment. You're trying to watch it because it's, I guess, soothing.
Yeah, it is soothing. Yeah, it is. There's something about it that's quite soothing. I watch it and I feel like. Okay, I know what people say, which is Disney's so not real and it's passing the wrong message to kids, and to some degree. I believe in it because the world is not going to be beautiful and perfect at the end. The princess doesn't always get the prince, and the dumb prince who rides on a horse you know nothing about always gets the princess, and that's a little bit bullshit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Disney has really changed the ending, but who wants to have fucking complicated storylines that reflect daily life. Like sometimes you just want to escape all that. That's
If
as an adult, right?
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm not talking about for children. As an adult, I just want a fucking simple story with that, and where like the protagonist doesn't die at the fucking end. Like it's not always I want to fucking have French literature on my ass.
Mm.
So that's that's the way I see it. Sometimes you just want something simple.
Talking about French movies. Yes. One of my favorite movies to this day is still Leon, and they.
Oh right, with Natalie Portman as the
little girl.
Yeah, as a little girl. Yeah, that was a great film.
That was a great film.
Yeah. It moves. Yeah, but maybe it's not as great if you watch it now. But when I watched it back in 20 years ago, god damn it moved me, right? Yeah. Like I didn't know. I was like, oh my god, I think they're gonna have like. Are they gonna fuck? Like what's going on?
It felt so fucking wrong.
Yeah,
she's underage. She has to be underage.
No, she was a kid. She was like 12. But now I look back up on it, I can see like I get it. I feel like I get it. Like he just wanted to protect her, and she was like
infatuated with him. Yeah,
because she's turning from a kid into like a young woman. And she has all these complicated. It's not complicated for her. It's very very simple. She like this guy.
She just had a better life with him than without.
Yeah. He is someone that means something to her. Like, but he never did. He never had that thought. He never. That's the thing. As he get older and look back, he's not like. He just treated her like almost as a daughter or as a person that he needed to protect. As a bodyguard and as someone that he cared about. Mm-hmm. But it's from the woman's side that I thought, oh my god, this is a little bit complicated.
Like, do you think a film like that could be released today?
If it was a French film, yes. I think if it was produced by the Americans, then it's fucked. Yeah, or like, in China, I don't think it would ever be released. I mean, I gotta rewatch it just to get maybe something it's worth for us to rewatch actually. But I thought it was a very very good film. It just has all the right elements of a good story and all the right values. I think, like in broadly speaking, like to protect someone, correct. And the guy, you talk about conflicting. Existence. He has a very conflicting existence. He kills people for a living. That's his job.
Yeah.
Right? He deserved it, right? Ultimately, someone's gone there to kill him. Like, his death is deserved because he's taken death to people's doors so many times, right? It was always written at the beginning. He was probably going to die.
Yeah.
Right? And she didn't know any of that. Well, she witnessed bits and pieces, but she's such a young woman and she has to grow up so quickly. And she grows up quickly by being in his world. Right? But she's actually just this, otherwise could be this, in another world, to just a normal, happy teenager who gets to make mistakes safely. I tell you what, when you grow up, it's when you realize you can't make mistakes safely. Then you realize you've started to grow up. You probably don't realize it, but when you look at kids, like we create environments for kids to make mistakes. We want them to make mistakes. All types of mistakes. You want them to make it. That's the only way to learn. But then one day, now you're 30, you can't make those fucking mistakes anymore. You make the same mistakes, you're in deep shit. So even life itself in existence, I feel, is very, very conflicting. When you're young, you're innocent. There's something unwritten that we let people just...
I mean, are you nostalgic for those times, or have you moved on?
I definitely feel the burden and weight of adulthood.
But would you ever want to go back?
Yes.
You would?
If I could, yeah. Even if I could wipe my memory and go back, I would, yeah. I would prefer to have that...
innocence.
I mean, I've lived a decent life. I don't mind going back and living
a different life.
You say
as a 30-year-old.
Yeah, but it's true. My life hasn't turned out that badly.
Okay, I'm not gonna go down that train of thought.
I mean, there's more to live, more to be lived, right? But if you're asking me, am I nostalgic back for the past? Yeah, I don't mind going back. But if I go back with the knowledge I have today, I mean, the world is fucked. Like, I'm just going to, rape and pillage everything. That's a terrible idea, right? So I'm going to presume I don't have the same knowledge that I have now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just an unfair game.
It is.
Right?
It becomes very much an unfair game.
So, would I...
But some people want that unfair advantage though, which is I find that more interesting now, to be honest.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to win in a game, you need unfair advantage. You know, like the game of life is not about fair advantage. You know, maybe honor is, and I care about honor, but
not everybody does.
Yes, yeah.
I
mean, I know some people they don't believe in honor at all.
It's and I get like slightly older. I think honor is such like an amazing concept, but not everybody follows the rules of the game.
I think if you don't care about honor, you're gonna live and do better, but for what meaning? You're not gonna have any meaning in life because, like, what else do you have but your honor? So, but it doesn't mean that the honor system in which you subscribe to or which you surrender to has like a constant set of rules across time. They may change as your feelings towards it change, and also as the world changes.
I have a feeling, sorry, to pull this back into gaming, I feel like that's one of the appeals of games. It's the fact that whenever the situation is, we can go back and like redo the situation or like level up and then reapproach the situation when we have done it better.
Yeah.
While in life, you have one chance to do it.
Yeah, you don't get mulligan.
You don't get mulligan.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Which is in life, it's such a luxury to be able to fail and to try again, and that's why to be a kid is amazing. To be able to put yourself in a situation to fail safely, such a good idea. Otherwise, you know, the alternative is flow, right? The idea of flow, which is things are never too difficult that you can't do it, and things are never so easy that, you know, that's not meaningful. There's always a little bit of challenge, but you need to fail once in a while. And life makes it very, very unfair for the average person to fail after a while. It's like, you know, as a kid, you can go hunt an elephant, and if it throw a spear at an elephant, and if it doesn't make it, and the elephant starts chasing you, you know, your dad will pick you up, and then you can just run away, right? I'm talking about caveman kids, yeah.
Oh, okay, sure.
yeah. Or like something along those lines, right?
I was imagining hunting for game scenario.
Oh right, yeah. Or hunting for game scenario, yeah. But like, if you're an adult and you chuck the fucking spear, and the elephant runs at you, yeah, you have to watch your own ass, and no one's gonna pick you up. And so, you know, these are the things that, there's no fixed rules about this. But as you grow up, into adulthood, suddenly you realize like actions have consequences, and your action has consequences.
Do you think that if you stop making mistakes, you stop learning? Because you don't really learn from your successes. You learn from your failures.
No, you'll learn from your successes as well. But the
you
thing
learn
is,
a lot less.
But the biggest thing when you get older, I think, is to be humble, and you become humble from learning from your failures. Because humility is so important because you can't risk making big mistakes when you're an adult. Or as you grow older, or at least if you make it, like you have to be able to fail safely.
Like as you grow into an adult, as you
it's like video, as you say, this is the hardest video game, which is life itself, right?
Yes.
It's like you can't mulligan this.
Yes, I had a train of thought that's now gone. You can keep talking while I think about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, let's put it to you this way, right? In life, if you have a good team, this is what's going to happen, which is, actually, this is very, very complicated. You know, we train astronauts, right? And astronauts really is a representation of human innovation, human pursuing these big dreams, right? And why do we train astronauts? Because we know it's fucking dangerous and they need to be trained. Right? And we put them into these simulations and we spend billions of dollars for them to sort of fail safely. Not so that they will be in a position of safety, but because they will be in a position of high risk and that they feel like they've minimized the risk that they can control. But nevertheless, astronauts fucking die. It's like if you wanna have a good chance of dying, be a fucking astronaut, right? Like how many people who's gone up in space have died? Maybe it's like 1 in 100 or some shit, right? It's pretty fucking high, right? 1 out of 100. It's a fucking crapshoot. That's what adulthood is like, which is fine. Do you want to do something great? If you want to do something great, the world will help you. The world will help train you. But then they expect you to do that great thing. And that great thing is fucking risky. Almost everything is like that. So, I think so. I think so. Because that's the only way to inspire people. Is to do something that, as in inspire people to help you. Is to do something that, that they find inspiring that they're not willing to do themselves.
Is that why a death is so much more inspiring than someone who lives?
I think often that's the case, yeah.
Like,
they talk about war heroes and they're dead,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, if Joan of Arc lived, I don't think I don't think she'd be as popular as she would have been when...
No, there's so many people, there's so many myths built around people that died, but if they went at war, right? But if they survived...
yes.
Yeah, I mean, but when they go back, and then you have them, like, do public speaking, you realize, they're probably full of PTSD and they'll be beating their wives because they saw all those horrific images of, and horrific experiences in war. So it's true. Like death is a very good way to clean someone's image, right? But the thing is, it's the ultimate sacrifice. Would you want to clean your image by death? I mean, the Japanese did, but most people don't want to do that. And I think there's a biological reason why you don't want to, prefer death. Yeah.
Biologically, you don't want death. That makes a lot of sense.
You don't want to kill yourself, yeah. I think I wonder if it's an anomaly, suicide. Because in Japanese culture, right, they kill a lot of things, right? They kill themselves, but they historically they didn't have a problem killing babies, right? I mean, maybe in Chinese culture as well, which is I think maybe actually in all types of cultures traditionally, because I think they want to make sure babies are
the best that they can be.
Yeah, like they just can't take care of.
If you're born with a defect, you're inherently.
Yeah, so that could be possible. But they also kill themselves out of duty and honor and all that sort of stuff, right?
Well, they place duty and honor above their own life.
I have to take a look. You talk.
Well, no, okay. My train of thought was that I had two trains of thought. The first was, if learning is such a large thing, if learning, let me think about this. The imagery I got was a bell curve where at the beginning you're allowed to make mistakes, and then as you become a teenager and grow into an adult, you have to make less and less mistakes because your mistakes are worth more now, and they can be disastrous. But as you go towards the other end as well, I was wondering if you really make more mistakes as you get much, much older, because you're allowed to now. You've lived your life. You're allowed to.
Who said you're allowed to?
I'm thinking of an old ass man.
Yeah, but let's think of a mistake that is quite critical.
Like it's also more dangerous to you now, but I think you're more taken care of as well.
But let's think of let's think of an example. So an adult person, what is? Let's think of 3-4 risky things. One is race car driver. Mm-hmm. One is maybe starting your own risky business of some kind. Maybe a stock trading business. Mm-hmm. I don't know, training to become a pilot. Mm-hmm. Another one could be, I don't know, what is risky? To be a dancer, is that risky? But anyways, these are 4 or 5 things we can think about. Sure. Whether you agree or disagree.
Sure. Let's say becoming a pilot.
Right.
Let's split into 3 scenarios: one as a kid, one as an adult, and one as an old ass man.
Yeah.
As a kid, you'd be like, you want to be a pilot? All right, go be a pilot. I will support you in being a pilot. And you fail to be a pilot, that's fine. You can switch out. Theoretically.
Yes.
You have time to switch out and figure your shit out. As an adult, you want to be a pilot? Regardless, alright, go for it. But if you want to be a pilot at that age, you have to put down a lot more things. You've led your life like let's say if you're 30, you've led your life for 30 years, and for the past, ever since let's say 25, so the past 5 years, you sort of start solidifying your status, and now you want to jump off and like do something completely different. You have to give up these 5 years. Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, you might have lived a certain life path. You might have had family. If things are anchoring you down, you might have bills and shit.
Yes.
All that sort of stuff.
Yes. Now let's consider the third scenario.
Right.
Where you're an old ass man and you go, I want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
You would firstly like encounter much resistance. Like you're an old ass man, like you're gonna hurt yourself or whatever.
Yes.
But in all three scenarios, if you still like be focused like, oh no, I really want to be a pilot.
Yes.
I feel like you'd have a better chance of being a pilot as an old man versus as a like, let's say, a 40-year adult.
Right. Yes, I mean, yeah, but let's say that, health-wise, there's no problem. You
give him more leeway as an old man in that.
Yeah,
sense.
but that's really about okay. But there is a difference. So as let's say an old retiree, yeah, you don't have the same type of obligations and family to look after. So you probably feel more free, which a lot of retirees do feel. But at the same time, if you make rookie mistakes, the world's not going to judge you the same. They'll be like, you're a 60, 70-year-old man with all this experience. You can't just start playing with the red buttons. But if you're a kid and you play with, random buttons, it probably will be... I mean, okay. If you are, 18, 19-year-old starting to train to be a pilot, which actually, some of the Air Force do that. Yeah, you can probably press a couple of red buttons and be a little bit irresponsible and people let you go. It's just normal, right? You probably have a drink the night before and then,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't be, but if you're a kid, you probably could get away with it. But if you're a 65-year-old and you rocked up smelling like alcohol, they'll probably never let you touch that thing again. But if you're a kid, they'll probably just give you a warning.
Really?
Yeah, because they feel like as a kid that they can still learn. I think the difference is as a kid, if you see a kid, you feel like you can tell them, hey, look, this is not the correct thing to do. And you expect that kid is still growing and still eager about life and still energetic and want to change themselves to be a better person.
But why does this scenario not apply to being an adult versus and being an old man?
Because I think society just expect. It's not just expect. They just know that at some point in time, habits are hard to change. Have you heard of the saying? Right, the chains of habit is too heavy
to be felt until they're too strong to be broken, or something like that.
Too light to be felt.
Or too light to be felt
until it's too heavy to be broken.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what it's about, I think. The world has different expectation of, and there's a name for that now. They call it ageism, right? But it's truth. Like, so it's a luxury. It's just like it's a luxury for children to behave like adults. It's a luxury for adults to behave like children. Like you and I doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It is a luxury.
It is.
If there's another fucking job that, like, if I was working a 9 to 5 fucking job, doing this around my fucking work hours, it ain't gonna fucking fly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, we can do this talking over a mic to an empty world of non-audiences. And we can do it because, essentially, we can pretend not to be kids for a while. Oh, sorry, pretend not to be adults for a while. Right? We can do any adult stuff we want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's right now coronavirus, but if you want to hit the strip, it's like, we can hit the strip club. It's not a fucking problem, right?
Are the strip clubs even still open right now?
It's not open. That's why I said it's fucking coronavirus, right? Don't look like it's so innocent.
No, I'm asking because I assume all entertainment establishments have closed down.
Yes,
that includes strip clubs and titty bars. Whatever else you want to call them.
But, yes. But the thing is, it's like...
Man, the prostitution industry must be hit really hard by this. Sorry. Sorry, that was tangent.
Yeah, yes, I have. But yes, you understand. So for us as adults, sorry, I'm a little bit preoccupied. So you gotta move it on, or we can end it for today.
My stance is that if you keep talking, I'll keep talking until you feel like we should stop.
All right, keep going. But you gotta have a topic.
Well, I'm finding as I'm doing this that
it's not as easy.
A, it's not as easy, and B, I don't always have the right, like I don't fully flesh out my ideas. So this to me,
this is the ultimate test.
Yes. So to me, this is like I don't know why the fuck you're doing this.
Yes.
But I'm trying to find meaning in doing this activity.
Yes.
I'm trying to justify it in my own ways.
Yeah, why are you doing podcasts,
yes,
right?
And to me, I'm justifying this by saying, all right, I have to take this as a learning experience because I hate public talking. I hate being in front of people.
Yes.
I have
hate is a strong word, man.
I do hate it.
All right.
Like I hate being the center of attention.
Right.
Yet somewhere deep inside me, I crave this attention. And I don't understand.
Yes.
And this is a method for me to explore this.
Yes. Yes.
Like, given free will, I'd be like, no, I don't want to do a podcast. I'm scared of embarrassing myself.
Yes.
But then Joe goes, Ray, you're doing a podcast.
Yes.
I'm like, fuck. Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna see what this is like.
Otherwise, you're not getting paid.
I'm doing this podcast for free to begin with.
Yes. But that's.
So I'm currently exploring.
But the thing is, have you ever regretted something you did?
Okay. That's a very interesting question.
Yes.
Because I was taught by you and by our parents to never regret anything I do.
Yes.
And that if I did regret it, why the fuck did I do it in the first place?
Well, no. I mean, the basic idea is you don't regret things you do. You regret the things you don't do. But honestly, like, is there? No, you can think about it. Is there really something that you regret doing?
Well, I think I can't say yes because it goes against like my own what I think I've been taught.
No, I think that's the wrong way of reasoning it out.
Maybe it is, but that's the way I reason it out. So like, whenever I get offered to do something, if I say yes, it is that okay, I will do it, and I will not look back, like until the very end. And once I reach the end, and I know like the full journey, I can look back and go, okay, I should have done this better, or okay, that's how it should have went.
Right. But that experience, was there any experience you regretted, sort of having? Like, generally what I'm saying is, we don't usually regret experiences that we have in our lives. Okay, I mean, unless there's something, quite terrible.
No, I will regret experiences after they're done.
Right.
But in the moment, never. I don't feel like I've ever regretted an experience that I have willingly walked into.
Yes. But what do you mean in the moment? Regret is looking back, right? Regret has a time element to it. You have to look back before you can regret. You can't say, "Oh, I'm regretting doing this now." It's a little bit difficult.
Can you not?
I don't think that's the right way of thinking about regret. I think regret
if I'm doing something and going, I'm not doing this for the right purpose, or I don't think I should be doing. Screw that. If I'm doing something,
I think during
and in that moment I'm going, I don't think I should be doing this. I think that's regret.
But if you Ray, you gotta think about it this way, which is, I think there's two things going on. One is your value system and whether you exercise, courage and honor, and the other one is whether you regret, not regret. And you can't confuse the two, which is, if you are doing something and at the moment you say, "Oh, I regret doing this," then your natural answer should be, if I'm gonna regret doing this, I'm gonna change the way I'm gonna change my behavior now, right? Like, I think I'm going to regret this, so I need to exercise some courage and either stop, do something different. But if you nevertheless said, "Oh, I'm going to regret doing this," and then you go do it, and then once the experience is over, you go, "Oh, I don't actually regret doing that." That's not a regret. So, I think a regrettable experience is an experience that you look back upon it and go, "No, I shouldn't have done it." At the moment, if you're saying, "Okay, I'm going to regret this," and you change behavior, it's, by changing behavior, I think you've already sort of addressed that regrettability, if that makes sense.
That is confusing to me because that tells me that regret is just about not wanting to, wanting to.
No, because there's
wanting to go back and change something, which is just
no, because your regret and my regret are we're confusing something. I'm trying to accommodate your regret with my sense of regret. What I'm trying to say to you is, my idea of regret is only looking at experiences in history, looking back in time.
Yes,
you're including regret that things that have not happened yet but may happen. You're saying, "Oh my God, in the moment I'm regretting," which means you haven't even completed the experience yet. So your definition of regret and mine are almost mutually exclusive because I'm looking back in time and you're looking at present versus future.
Okay, so let us go with your definition of regret.
Yes,
where
okay.
It's like,
yes,
I have done something.
Yes,
and I'm looking back and whether I regret that scenario or that situation or not.
Yes.
I feel like that is very natural to regret then.
Like what? Like small stuff, but like, all right, what? Like what is something that you've done that's quite regretful or regrettable?
That is not a small thing?
Yeah.
Like when you say regret, I would mainly think of all the small things I've done. That's like, oh, I could have tweaked this, I could have tweaked that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those. Of course, we all have that. It's just like significant things. It's like, have you gone? If you look back in time, did you bully a kid and then kick him in the butt and did something terrible? Like those things. Maybe.
Then you are right. I have regretted a lot more of things that I didn't do than the things that I did do.
Exactly. And now that you've learned that you are the type of person to regret the stuff that you don't do rather than regret the stuff that you do, what does that tell you about how to live your life? It means you should do more shit. And say yes to more shit. Because you're not going to change the way, you operate. It's like, and we know this from learning just from all the adults in the room, just the older people, and, everyone says the same thing pretty much. Do more shit. Experience more stuff. You won't regret it. No one says, hey, run away, hide. That's how you live life.
Right.
Yeah. Does it make sense or does it not make sense? At least that's the way.
And within the context of this conversation, it makes sense. Whether I have regretted something in the past or not, I don't have an answer yet. I don't think I'll have an answer tonight. Right. It's something I'll need to think over, whether I have regretted.
Oh my God, I think we're stop recording. Oh no, we keep going. Fuck. This thing won't fucking end. Wait. Why did we end up on this topic anyway?
About regrets?
Yes.
I don't know. Let me think. Let me trace it back.
Have you ever regretted playing a game?
If I regretted playing a game, I drop the game and move on.
See, again, you look at it, your interpretation of regret is not correct, right? Well, as in doesn't line with mine. What I'm trying to get at with regret, you're saying if I regret, I would have stopped.
No, as in like I played it,
yes,
and I played it up to a certain point,
yeah,
and then I will stop. I'll look back and go, I don't like this game anymore.
Yes.
And then I'll stop.
Yes,
that's what I mean by
right. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I played games and I've regretted it.
Mm-hmm. And do you regret that decision where you realize you regretted that game?
Okay, I'm going to interpret that question as: did I ever drop a game and then pick it back up again? Because if I did regret that choice of dropping the game, I would have either A, picked it back up, or just B, just forgot about it.
Yeah.
No, okay. With the term regret, regretting a choice I made, to me, inherently it is, I keep looking at that, that's amazing. If I regret a choice of, if I have regretted one of my own choices, my natural instinct would be, okay, if I regret it, then I want to go back and redo that choice and choose the other option.
Right.
So if I dropped a game and I regret it, I would go back and pick it back up, right?
Yes.
That should be the natural reaction.
I feel like we're doing some circular shit here, but yes. Have you ever dropped a game and picked it back up?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when you picked it back up, did you go realize why you
put
it back down?
I have put down that as well.
Yes. Welcome to the world of life. That's the circle of life, right? That's the secular part.
You have lost me on that.
We've lost everyone. We've lost all. We've lost the people we've never had.
We lost people like an hour ago, but I want to like figure out what you mean by this. This is what life is like. I regret I put this down.
Yeah, because that's called temptation, right? That's called temptation. That is the other aspect of life. That with time, they say time heals all things, right?
Mm-hmm.
With time, you also forget things that you've learned. And if there's, that's why it's so dangerous. I think as you get when you're too old, because old people like they forget about things and they start making the same mistakes that they would as children. Because it's like with time you forget why you didn't like something, didn't like someone, couldn't do a certain activity, should avoid something dangerous, all that sort of stuff. And that's how that's how you know what your vices are, actually. If you keep going back to the same thing and then realizing, I shouldn't have done that in the first place, that's your vice. Stop it.
I have done that. Okay, I have done that in terms of gaming due to nostalgia. I'll play something and go, no, this is not good.
Yeah.
And I'll like drop it for like a few months.
Yeah.
Then think about it, be like, why did I drop that? I like all the signs have pointed to the fact that I should enjoy this.
Yes.
And now I'll go back to it. I'll pick it back up, play for a bit. I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm just not feeling it. I'll drop it back down again.
Yeah.
That has happened before. Again, I emphasize the point where I say like,
you have a toxic relationship with.
Is it toxic?
I don't know if it's toxic, but if it was
like
with
all
a
signs,
person, I think that would be considered a toxic relationship.
All signs point to the fact that we should get over the person. Then all signs point to the fact that we should get along.
Yes.
We have the same likes.
Yes.
We like eat the same cereal.
Yeah.
We love watching the same TV shows.
Yes.
We should be compatible.
Right. Yes, based on those superficial. Well, the thing is, if you assess someone based on those superficial measures, then you deserve each other.
Oh fuck! All right.
Yeah.
Let's go a bit deeper.
yeah. But I'm joking. But yeah, you get. Yeah, like it looks like you feel compatible, and then then you go a bit deeper. Then you engage with each other a bit deeper, whether it be games or people, and you realize, all right, well, actually, even though we like the same fucking cereal, we don't have a very meaningful conversation during cereal time.
You know what I always interpreted that as?
What?
I always interpreted that as the fact, like, if I met someone who was so similar to me,
yes,
and I did not get along with them,
yes,
I'd probably hate myself then. That's what I always interpreted that as.
You think so? But think about it.
Because if that person's another me, and I don't like them,
yes,
that means I don't like myself. Like, is there any fault in that logic there? If I was to take a third-person point of view of myself,
I think, I feel like that's a very, very intelligent and perceptive question which requires a very intelligent, perceptive answer. I think this is my answer to you, and I might be wrong, which is, if in the world there is, firstly, is it necessary for you to like yourself in another body? The answer may be yes, no. Second of all, in a let's say in a social hierarchy that is shaped like a pyramid, and you are at the top of the pyramid, and therefore you are the only one, and everyone likes you, it doesn't really matter whether you need to like yourself because you feel liked. But I might be wrong about this. I might be very wrong. You might still need to like yourself. But do you understand what I'm saying? Which is, what you're saying is, if there's a lot of people like you, and none of you guys like each other,
something's inherently wrong.
That society shouldn't exist. That society should burn to the ground. But
I don't know about burn to the ground, but
well, it will.
It will, yes.
But in life, is anyone like you? Really?
I'm told that when you clearly have a lot more like dating experience than I do.
Yes.
But I'm told that when you look for someone, you should find someone like yourself.
No. Why? What? Well, firstly, I think opposites attract.
I also believe opposites attract.
Yes, and second of all, in the long run, I don't think any of that. It's all that mythological shit. It's what like old people try and matchmake you with. They'll look at you and they'll look at someone else and they'll whoever is they can find, they'll go, oh, she's like him, they'll match. Or alternatively, oh my god, she's not like him, they'll match so much.
That's what I think it comes from.
Yeah, but I think biologically speaking, you need a bit of both. Because
it's like similar people will flock together to form a society, right?
Yes, but it depends how similar. It's like if you're genetically the same, then you're gonna have fucked up babies, right? So it can't be too same.
Yeah, I still don't know why that happens. But
what do you mean you don't know what that happens? It's like two recessive genes come together. There's no diversity.
Is that really the reason? Due to recessive genes?
I think that is. I mean, yeah. That's why when royal families, they fuck each other and have kids, the kids all have like dangly arms and like 5 legs and shit.
True, you are much more likely to receive recessive traits if you breed with someone who owns those recessive traits.
Exactly. That's why, like,
wait, that's
inline dynastic rule. Sorry, in bloodline, is that what they call it, or whatever the fuck it is? They don't last. It's because you just pass that, that shitty fucking, freckle gene or whatever the fuck it is, all the way down the line, and then you're fucked.
That's such a simplistic answer. My God.
Yeah. I just can't believe you never thought of it that way. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I never understood why.
That's why you need gene diversity. Yeah. Yeah, and human societies have always known this. Like human society, like, all right, the minority, yeah, like relatives would have babies with each other, and all that. But generally speaking, in societies, you have to be like cousins. That's 3, 4.
Remove the generation,
or whatever before they'll let you marry.
Yeah.
So that just tells you that they don't want you to be too far away, but not too close. And that's the real sophisticated answer, I think. Right? Like things, when considered properly. Have I told you this? I've told other people this. Like my boss Jenny, she said, Joe, to be thoughtful is to give thought. You need to give thought to this shit. It's like none of the answers are correct. You can't be. If you date someone that's exactly like you, then pretty much it's just
food.
No dinner. Yeah, Beef is asking us for dinner. No, thank you. Unless you wanna.
Beef is someone else in the office.
Yes.
Besides me, Byron, and Mr. Hot Dog here.
Yeah. So sorry, I was a bit lost. Yeah, it's like you can't date someone that's exactly like you, and you can't date someone that's opposite to you. Not entirely opposite. Like entirely opposite to you is, I don't know what it would be, but is it even a human being, really, right? So it's what they're saying is like you want someone that's complementary, and complementing you sometimes means you need to be similar, sometimes means you need to be different, and them merely complimenting you is not enough. You need to compliment them, and sometimes, oh my God, I'm really being like the adult in the room now, like. It's a discovery process. That path to discovering whether you are complementing each other in itself breeds closeness and breeds a relationship of understanding, and that would help you in the long run. Yeah, you need a common path. You need to share a common story. That really fucking helps. And you need to be attracted to one another. It's the absolute truth. If you're not attracted to one another, it doesn't help. And generally speaking, this is where it comes in, right? Things that you find too exotic isn't fucking attractive. But things that you find like absolutely pedantic and boring isn't very attractive. There needs to be some excitement.
That's fair.
Yeah. But women themselves are like not the same as men. Just to let you know, right? They're women.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're talking about the same thing when dating versus you meeting someone that's exactly like you, but fundamentally a woman's not like you, right? Mm-hmm. A woman is a woman. Mm-hmm. Like nature made it so that you got to pair up.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Right. You can't fucking. It's just how fucking the rules are written, right? You're meant to pair up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you meet a man who is exactly like you, and you don't like him. Does that inherently mean you don't like yourself? I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's the case. Firstly, that is almost maybe it's a false assumption. Maybe there isn't anyone that's exactly like you. Like, have you met a person that's exactly like you?
No, but it's an exercise I've done with myself, thinking about how am I perceived by other people.
Yeah, that's a very good exercise. It's like a self-audit of yourself. Yeah.
And then I'm wondering, like, okay, so if I met them. And if I like them, alright, so I'm a good person. I'm like, oh, then I'm an alright person to be around then. But if I meet someone like me, and I don't like them, I must be doing something wrong. Therefore, do I hate myself?
Right. Yeah, you hate that quality. That is true. It's not that you hate yourself. That's too simple. But you do dislike people with that quality in them. Yes. But maybe to you, having it is not a bad thing. For example, I don't mind being an alpha male. Mm-hmm. But if I meet another alpha male, I hate the fuck out of them. But if I'm the only one, I probably want to feel like an alpha male. Mm-hmm. If I'm the only one and I'm a beta male, I'll be lonely as fuck.
Oh.
Right? And then I meet another beta male, I'll go, oh, yes, finally I have a fucking, like, companion or friend or whatever. So, it's conditioned on this sort of stuff, right? Just that's what I'm talking about. When if there's a hierarchy or patriarchy or whatever, and you're the guy at the very, very top, it's just like the male lion. He's very comfortable. He likes himself. Mm-hmm. But if he meets another lion, he ain't gonna like himself. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, do you have anything else?
I realize I gotta do something.
Right. Alright, so anyways, this has been a very, very long one, but thank you for listening, the non-listeners of this world. My name is... what the fuck is my name? I always fucked up. My name is Joe Delicious, your favorite DJ, aka Gun, aka Hot Dog, and with me is Ray Ray.
What up?
Yes. If you listen to this and you regret it, you now know why. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.